Just like some Fallout stuff.
You're gonna go out there?
I don't know, man. I stepped out there for a second and something banged over there.
Really?
I mean, but it wasn't like wind bang. It was like somebody was like bang, 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 and then just stopped.
Sheet metal in the wind?
But it didn't happen again, and there was no. It was weird. And it wasn't like in there, it's in the distance. So like, is there something in the woods there?
I think there's some abandoned cars back there. Haunted car.
That's creepy.
We're gonna go out there and check it out.
Man, I'm gonna probably get my legs.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Syntax 77 channel. Doing a little Halloween themed video. You know, it's been 5 years since our original Halloween video where we went to the abandoned turnpike.
Yes.
5 years.
We started out in the graveyard.
Yeah, I believe it's been exactly 5 years. That was 2012, this is 2017. And we are here at the abandoned Lyndonville Air Force Base, as most people call it, actually an Air Force installation that is up here in close to East Haven, Vermont, if you're looking on Google. The closest actual town is the town of Victory, which is a very small town. And right now we're parked the furthest that you can go, which is at this administration area here. We're going to check this out first. We'll get into the history of all of it. Basically, it is a Cold War era installation, radar installation, that was an early warning sign for the threat of Soviet nuclear attack back in the 50s. It was built in 1956, or I should say it was put into official use in 1956. Now, the radar towers are further up the hill there. We can't quite get there. You used to be able to drive there. Obviously, the base had road access, but there are some obstructions up here because of vandalism and looting and whatnot. So it's about a 2-mile hike for Mike and I. That's why we got our container up here with our backpacks in it. Yes, we're turning this into a backpacking and camping trip. Mike's getting changed now. It's a little cold out here, about 39 degrees. As per the Halloween theme, it is the end of October, so it's a little, you know, cold. We're in northern remote Vermont right now, not too far terribly in a relative sense from Canada. So it's, yeah, it's a little cold. I'm gonna put on some warmer boots and we're gonna explore this administrative area first, and then we'll just see where the day takes us. I officially heard the banging as well, so.
I think it might be wind now.
You're on board? Not a ghost?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think it was wind. I was able to pull up a location and send Danielle where I parked.
Oh, nice.
In case we disappear.
Okay, cool. Because the banging is getting louder.
But it's really having trouble going through.
Oh, good.
I'm hoping it gets there.
Which direction first is a real question.
My spidey senses tell me to start down, go back to the road and check it out, and walk through back to our car up this way.
Okay. That's not because the banging sound keeps coming from over there, right?
I'm not doing that yet.
If you eat that, you might become possessed like Poltergeist.
There's some old soggy apples.
We can survive on that.
You could. You might get drunk off of it too.
Oh, it's true. It might be fermented.
Yeah, fermenting.
Going in. A little bit down the road. So we parked over there, walked down, and we'll just walk into the woods and make our way down, I guess. At least we know the moose aren't scared of this place. Unless it's a ghost moose that left that.
That's a nice garage.
I'm sure it'll open right up for you.
It's pretty clear in there. Put the car in there.
Oh yeah, we can park in there. We are going to have to leave the vehicle here. Old, like,
refrigerator.
Yeah.
For like cold food prep kind of thing.
Well, they had a bowling alley down here for entertainment for the guys. There was like 174 soldiers would be stationed here.
They had a bowling alley?
Yeah.
You're not joking?
No.
Holy moly.
Just to keep them sane. And then they had a bus that ran in good weather every night in town just to keep them sane as well. But they had to stay here and basically guard access to the radar towers that we're going to see later.
Oh, so this was active. They just never activated up top.
No, it was active from 56 to like 64.
So they did finish building it.
They did, but it was like they never finished it completely.
Oh, okay.
It got it was already outdated before it was even ever completely done, but it was in function. But some of the like one of the radar towers that we're going to see up there never actually got a radar put on top of it, I believe. All right, no need to open the garage. The door is open over here. Where does that go?
No, these are lights to work on a truck. So
oh,
the mechanic can go down there and work underneath of it.
Well, if your car is giving us trouble, we can back it in here and check it out. Maybe this will work. No, still dark. All right, move on to the next thing. But yeah, that was definitely like the mechanic shop there. Interesting. This obviously used to be some sort of larger building, and this was the base for it. But it's not standing anymore. This, wonder if this was dining hall?
This was dining hall. You see all the shelves?
What'd you say?
The shelves are stored.
Oh, shelves.
Dining hall, yeah.
Yeah, the hood system probably right where they cooked.
Yep, and then over there was probably the dining hall.
Yeah.
It's the kitchen.
Back at the car as we walk out of the dining hall. So I guess these here, Mike, you think just actual living quarters? These little squat buildings here?
If there is anything haunted, this is where it'd be if something weird happened.
Well, there has been a few people that died here.
Yeah?
Yeah. Somebody got decapitated.
By accident?
Yeah, driving a snowmobile, and hit, you know, people put a chain across as like a way of blocking off like a driveway. He went right through it and took his head off. That was, yeah, that was like 4 years after they sold the property to like a private owner.
4 years after?
1965, somebody bought it. In 1969, somebody was trespassing, snowmobiling.
And they found him?
And he might, I think probably was with somebody, and he had a chain, took his head off.
Can you imagine your friend just, you're like, oh.
There's no head.
And that happened?
And you're here in the middle of I mean, not that you could save that dude, but still. So now you gotta
swallow and you have to go all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no good. But if there was a ghost, I mean, he's still here.
If there's ever a good reason for a ghost to hang around, decapitation is probably one of them. There's the barracks entrance. There's our banging sound, and you can see the shadows of whatever it is moving. Oh boy, this is... Oh boy. Oh God. Who was living here and for how long? A couple mattresses. And some weird stuff on the walls. Some hobo action here. A little canned chili Hormel, Mike. Our favorite apocalypse meal. Post-apocalypse meal. Whoa, that whole thing collapsed. Won't be going that way. Apparently this is where the fire extinguisher used to be. Some more light switches that mean nothing to us now. Let's go see the source of the banging. Let's face it. Any ghosts? You're saying this one might be a little much on the asbestos threat level there, Mike?
Yeah.
Apparently somebody lit a structure fire up here in the relatively closer time period at some point after the place was abandoned. And asbestos did what it's supposed to do, probably. Retarded that fire, but it's also all over the place, so we probably won't go in there, so we're not the next people haunting this place.
What I want to know is the person that shot all the shotgun shells.
There are so many shotgun shells.
But right here, though, were they shooting this direction?
Oh.
This direction? Were they shooting that direction? Like, what were they doing? There's a lot of shots.
Yes. Anyway, moving on behind that building. It's a much larger building right there. And a small one here. What do you got in there, Mike?
These are barracks, right?
Yeah, it's built out of cinder block instead of that corrugated steel like the other ones. I don't know what the difference is. Officers, maybe? Fancier stuff? Or the bowling alley. That had to be somewhere.
Well, there's a big building ahead of us.
So what was this? Guess so.
You skated off all the way around.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh, and you can see lines. But then again, they're not painted lines. It's like structure. Oh, you know what? It is. I did read there was a tennis court too.
This is it.
So this is it.
With the fencing.
With the fence. And then we're thinking, yeah, that probably was the bowling alley just because it was so long and skinny. And then what do you think this was?
Tennis court.
No, I mean building behind you.
I don't know, I'm gonna go.
All right. Oh, the heck? What's this? Maybe like a meeting area, like a common area? Is it possible, and I only thought of this because you just said you saw showers,
I thought it was.
that this is like a gymnasium?
Yes, this is a gymnasium.
Because the wood floors.
Yes. Yep, high ceiling basketball area.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
It's the athletic center, and it's next to the tennis court and bowling alley.
Yeah. Well, all right then.
So there's probably a gym area, maybe somewhere.
Yeah.
Actually, this
Maybe this was gym.
is a gym. Yeah. Yep. How about that?
Okay.
Doing good here.
Yeah, we're figuring this out, Mike. Another shower?
Yeah.
This would be like locker and changing room?
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, I think that covers the gym. Athletic center. Would you say it's 12 o'clock? Yeah, I guess we got to get packs on and check this other part out eventually. We're going to do 2 nights, by the way. I didn't even mention that. Or at least we'll see if we make it 2 nights. But we'll get geared up. Got our old school 45-pound backpacks on. I opted for some regular old Wranglers instead of hiking pants in the spirit of the old school nature of this hike. Figure if you were hiking back then, you probably would have just thrown some jeans on, so that's what I did. How's the pack feel, Mike? Not bad? So like I mentioned earlier, that's the administration areas. This is the road that goes up to the base where they would run the actual radar towers. And you used to be able to drive up there, like I said, but you'll see soon that the landowners currently is a logging company, and they put in some obstructions. They say when people come here, up top particularly, there's a certain feeling that kind of, it's just different. But I'm your friend, so don't worry about me.
This place is messing your head up.
I'm your friend.
I hope so.
No, yeah, no, really. I didn't bring you here for anything but a good backpacking trip.
You better sneak attack me, man. I'll put you in a headlock.
There's a guard shack somewhere around here.
And
So
this is the guard check to even get to this, probably.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's right next to the barracks, too, which makes sense.
Right here.
Yeah. Most likely there was one on the other side, too.
Yeah, there was a structure that I almost pointed out earlier. There was nothing but like the base, but it was probably the other guard shack just going up to the administrative area. This is pretty cool looking though. A little creepy, but pretty cool.
I was joking about like ghosts and stuff, but after you told me about the snowmobiler's head getting decapitated,
That mess you up a little bit?
He didn't die like right. He's got to be somewhere.
I'll tell you about the other death later when we get up there too.
Okay.
There's the giant oil drum. Now it's canted to the side a little bit. I thought it was blocking the whole road. Maybe I haven't seen an actual picture of this. I mean, you're definitely not going to take your Honda Civic up around this. You can drive around there.
Danielle wrote me this note.
Oh, your lovely wife.
Told me to read it when I'm wondering why we're doing this.
In the woods by a headless ghost.
Heart. It's cute.
Okay.
Your mama's so ugly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's not cute.
That's aggressive.
She walked into a haunted house and walked out with a job application. Ha! Happy haunted hiking. Love T. Oh boy.
All right, well.
All right.
Back to the pavement.
Oh boy. We're here. See the building.
Do you see it? That was steep for a little bit, man.
Yeah, it made you work to the end.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right, let's check it out. See, we still ended up earning at least, well, we skipped lunch pretty much. We had a soda pop.
Yeah.
But, oh wow.
Cool. I don't want to start exploring.
Now let's put our stuff down before we do that.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll try to maybe get into some more advanced places. Not get into, I don't want to sound mischievous, but today is more about finding a place for camp and some firewood and stuff. Potential areas we're looking around for. Oh wow. This is cool, man.
Cool.
And creepy.
Cool.
I say it's cool now, and I'm sure it's going to continue to go that way. This isn't like the beginning of one of those movies, is it?
I hope not. Everything's cool, and then all of a sudden something bad happens, and you're in a place where you can't get help.
Don't say it.
That is what's going to happen.
You almost walked into that.
That was a long drop.
Yeah. That wouldn't have been great.
There's a lot of things that can fall, too.
If we set up hammocks in between these steel girders?
Yeah. But right here, it's a long stand. That can happen.
Yeah?
There's a lot of drippiness. I don't like it.
We'll find something.
I don't know if we're going to find a hammock spot.
Those clouds are moving fast. Definitely a little windy. Brr. Yeah, let's get away from the wind for now to get our wits about us, shall we? Need my microfleece back on quickly. I don't know. Anything over there? A little more tucked away at least. Doesn't feel windy. Some sort of other building. Oh! That feels a lot better. Get my fleece back out. I kind of figured going around these a little more rugged areas, having something like a fleece or just a regular hoodie instead of a $180 ultra thin down jacket might be the way to go. So the surplus, get that on. Fuel up a little snack, huh?
Yeah.
Unicorn bacon, but it's, I feel like it's a little different.
We came back from Cabo with this.
We got Mexican unicorn bacon.
Chupa chupa. Extremes.
Oh my god, I love it.
Fruit sour candy. Dolce.
You're doing great.
Frutas.
Yeah, that sounded good. All right, a little unicorn bacon.
0% gracia saturada.
No saturated fat?
No. 96 calories, but they say energia.
Energy.
We need that for energy.
Yeah, see? So we're doing the right
Makes sense.
thing. All right, cool. Not bad, though. All right, where the hell are we going to camp? Well, a little further up the hill here. I do believe we have home. I've never quite had a background like that behind my hammock before. That's my hammock system. We'll take a look at that in a second. Over here is Mike, and he's set up. We managed to wedge in here right behind, whoo, that is some bright sun, right behind the main structures here, the radar towers, and looking pretty good. I like it. We're right in the heart of the action here, pretty much, which I think is super cool. Right now it's going on what, like 3:30 or something, Mike? 3:56. So we're getting set up. Tomorrow's going to be more of our exploration day because we're going to wake up and we're already going to be here. But I think, what do you think number one priority will be after we get these tarps set up? Fire. Collecting firewood.
And it rained for 3 days and everything is soaked.
Yeah, we're kind of like a break in the rain. Luckily, it seems like we get our 3 days are going to be dry, but it seems to have been raining days before we got here, and it looks like it's going to be raining days after we leave as well. But that's okay. So as you can see, we're hammock camping, which I don't know if I necessarily suggest if you come up here, although many people probably don't actually camp here, I'm just guessing. But a lot of spots for a tent. Hammocks, not so much because of the small trees, but we made do. It's a little bouncy, we're on some smaller trees, but it's gonna work. So Mike's got his dream hammock set up and he's doing the Cuban fiber tarp right now. There's a ladder that he found laying around the base, and he used that to get his line up really high because he has a pretty decent span there, and that kept a nice angle on it for him. And over here, got our fire pit that was already here, so that's great. And then over here, brand new setup from Outdoor Vitals, and like a smart person, this is the first time I'm ever testing this. I never even set it up before at home. Living on the edge. But looks a little weird compared to Mike's over there with the underquilts, right? If you saw that, which, see how Mike has the underquilt underneath there? Very traditional setup. With this, it's called the Mummy Pod from Outdoor Vitals, and the Mummy Pod is also a sleeping bag that you can use on the ground, but it unzips at one end so that you can slide it through the entire hammock, and it envelops you completely, because I've said it 1,000 times on this channel before, but you can't just lay on top of your sleeping bag in a hammock because you'll compress the down or synthetic in there and your butt's going to get cold. So you need it outside of the hammock so it can loft up. Usually that's why I use an underquilt. In this case, it's like a sleeping bag that envelops you. I know a lot of you guys out there are skeptical of this. I don't blame you, because usually in a hammock you lay on an angle to achieve a flat lay. And with this setup, a lot of people are skeptical that you can get that angle. I'm going to find that out tonight for the first time next to an abandoned radar tower. We'll see what happens. Do I wish I had tried it first at home before I came? No, that would be boring. Woo! I'm ready though, man. I want to put the tarp down, but I really like the view.
If I did that at night, I would never made it.
I know. I'll do it.
Rocks behind me.
I'll do it in a little bit, but I do want to prioritize getting the firewood going. And man, that's a crazy backdrop for a camping trip. Crazier than the abandoned turnpike?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah?
Yeah? Okay.
Sure. What do we gotta do now?
Firewood. Got a whole giant plastic bag full of birch bark because there's nice oils in it as a fire starter. And we basically went almost halfway back down the mountain from whence we came, and at lower elevations we were able to scoop that up. Along the way, drug back these piles here of larger pieces of wood. We're hoping, because everything is so damp and wet, that we get a nice base going with these, really stoke it up with the birch bark, and then eventually work our way into these larger pieces of wood and actually get a fire going, because we do have a nice steak dinner planned. At least we have plenty of contingencies, but if possible we would love to cook these giant ribeye steaks that we got, and that'll just make everything worthwhile. Right now at this point we're working on 5:30, and now we can enjoy the night, Mike?
Soon.
Well, we got to make sure we actually get the thing lit. It's calmer now. The wind has died down, which is nice. And yeah, it's just eerily calm, I guess is one way to put it. I was telling Mike, I alternate between like a peaceful calmness up here, even with these weird, strange buildings. There's just something about having this whole area to yourself in a weird, decrepit way. And then other times there's a creepiness that Mike has identified as well, where you just swear somebody's over there. And I'm not just trying to pump things up. I mean, honestly, there's been a couple times where it just feels like somebody should be here, I guess is what I'm saying. Constant dripping in that building that we hear over there. Well, I've gotten used to it. All right, we'll try to get this fire started, I guess. Catching, man. More potatoes, a little butter in each bowl. We're just kind of eating as we go. No salt, no pepper, just straight butter and potatoes.
It's so good when you're out here, man.
Yeah?
It's like black coffee.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I love it. All right, first course is a hit. This wind is definitely keeping the fire stoked.
Yeah. This one's like got some fat pull on that.
Yeah, he's got a nice bowl shape to him. That'll fit in somebody's bowl nice.
I'm gonna eat that one.
There you go. Looking good, man. Looking good. Oh my God.
Yes, good.
Thank you. Looking good.
Steak sauce?
Yeah, sure, why not? Maybe they'll get angry and say if we had good steaks we wouldn't need steak sauce, but guess what? Some of us like A1. Deal with it.
Oh yeah.
Dude, like our bench here, man. Whoa, I was gonna fall over. Cut right into a fatty piece of this. And a ribeye? Oh my God, this is good, man. That's amazing. I'll get you fueled up. So tomorrow, you can go. Try not to be attacked by ghosts inside of these buildings.
Yeah.
Good times. Windscreen action.
Yeah, man.
The wind has not given up. It is obviously morning time now. It's about 7 in the morning, got up at 6:30, and the wind's just been howling all night. Mike made a good point. It'd be nice if this is correct, and hopefully it's a warm front coming in. I really would like if the wind dies down, but we are in this little alcove down here. It's pretty nice. So when it's windy down here, you know it's pretty bad. So this should keep our stove running so we can make some breakfast. A little egg and Spam, I believe.
Yep.
Mike's specialty.
There we go. Produces some heat too.
Nice. It's like a countertop and a pantry and a stove all in one.
Yeah.
Butter coffee?
With the oil, yeah. It's gonna bang.
Ah, that's good. Oh, nice flip. Oh yeah, look at that. Runny yolk and all. That's how you eat in the apocalypse, my friends. Right there. Love it. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, man.
Alright, well, breakfast was good. The wind still persists, although we have done some more projects. I do have a barrier for the wind for tonight, so that should be a little better. A little handiwork there. Plus it makes the place just look even more apocalyptic, I think. It's like, is that for wind or for keeping out marauders? I don't know. Zombies. It could
they
be.
Hit that and they go around.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So now at this point, I think we are going to take a little walk. We haven't discovered exactly what's over on this side of the property, if you want to call that. And two birds, one stone. We're just going to check that area out, and then hopefully maybe there's some water running off the mountain in that direction too, in which case in my backpack we have the ability to carry back about a gallon of water. I wonder if it's water. I wonder if it's water. So I wonder if this is water. You know, they do have contamination issues around here, but we're not going to get anything from right here next to the building, because apparently they spilled a bunch of fuel. Never admitted it, but that's the story. Of course, on the upside, Mike, if we really have to get some sketchy water, we are trying out the new Sawyer Select, the S3, actually more specifically as I drop it on the ground. And the S3 is because there's 3 different levels. So there's S1, you could probably guess, 2 and 3. And 3 at the highest level will do, in addition to the normal protozoa and bacteria, it'll also do viruses, which I think the level 1 or the level 2 does. And then to take it even further, which is what we would be concerned with up here, fertilizers, not necessarily that, but heavy metals, chemicals, things like that. So basically there's a foam filter inside that you squish the water back and forth in, that soaks up a lot of the badness, and then you squeeze it through the Sawyer Micro, which is basically a very small Sawyer squeeze, and that gets off all your standard bacteria, protozoa, and cysts due to the hollow fiber membrane inside there. Between the two, hopefully we'll have safe water to drink. We are good to go. Mike's prepping the fire. Things are coming along here. Then we'll go for a little walk, check this place out, and hope the wind dies down just a little bit. Which it probably won't. There's another building there, a little bit further down the road here. And this is where we're hoping maybe there'll be some water a little further down. But we'll see.
Build the fire. This is our new fire pit.
By the way, I love this the new hat for everybody out there. But anyway.
I mean, you say I'm not approachable.
No, if I saw you up here and I wasn't expecting to see anybody and I saw you dressed like that, I'd be very comfortable. I would not run away. But anyway, you found this piece of equipment.
This piece of equipment right here is like a barrel, but even better.
Yeah.
Because it already has a hole for oxygen to get underneath.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, this will radiate
heat. And be like a chimney.
There'll be no wind pushing everything around. So
it'll only be heat on one side, or a fire on one side.
Yeah, this is our new fire pit.
All right, we'll grab that on the way back. That thing's solid.
Yeah. Take it.
I do like this new look.
It keeps getting better.
Keeps getting better.
Yeah, this came down.
It's crazy.
Bent all up.
Trail turns over here. Well, we didn't find any water down there. There was some standing water that if we were really in a pinch, we could use, although I forgot to bring a scoop, so we would have been there forever. What we're gonna do instead is just head down the way we came up yesterday, and actually I think it might be a little closer than the wood was, the birch bark that we had to go for anyway, so it shouldn't be too much worse than that. We'll just go down there and get water. But before that, we are heading on in the middle of the day here. Maybe do a little excursion, I'm thinking, and head into that building that we just saw Mike walk by with the scrap metal for his next project, of course. I say we go up there to the top of this guy, or at least try. this is the tallest tower on the radar station. And actually, I believe the only one that did not actually get a radar unit on top of it. This place was opened in 1956 in the height of the Cold War, and technology was moving so fast that by 1963 or so, when they were still building this place and adding additions to it, such as this tower with its new radar unit that I believe had some new capabilities for elevation and range together, that was already obsolete. And they had moved on to different detection methods and better ways, in their opinion, to detect the Soviet threat. So, this place was shut down before they even had a chance to fully complete this particular radar tower. So far though, it's in pretty good shape. We don't really trust these floors too much, but we'll try to walk along the beams. That looks like there. A ladder. Now, when I was outside looking up, I saw a decrepit looking ladder out here that I really thought it was kind of sketch. But maybe what we just saw there is a better way to get up. That ladder? Not.
There's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
God, I'm so scared. All the other floors are so rusty.
I know. Luckily, this one's actually it's like a slightly different material. Oh, wow. There's all kinds of strange stuff. Well, let's keep going. At least we get a little sunlight poking through in here with that hole in the ceiling. I guess we go for it. What we got out here? Wow. Here we are looking down on the other bases. Ooh, that wind! This is crazy, Mike.
Oh, careful.
See?
Careful.
Tripping over stuff. Yeah, you would not want to fall through any of those holes. You're going down? All right, understandable. Amazing 360 views up here. The White Mountains are actually over here. Plenty of those videos on this channel, of course, but there they are over to our east where the sun rises, and tonight we'll have a nice sunset over these mountains over here, and it is incredible, just incredible, and windy, shaky and windy. Oh, there's our campsite down there. You can just see it over the edge. See that? And then one of the radar towers, that's the one right behind my setup, of course. You can see our wall down there and our shanty town. Pretty cool view of that, and a ton of boulders next to our camp that I didn't even realize how many are there. right. Too much wind for me. I'm going down too. All right. Quick escape. You down here, Mike? Michael? Uh-oh. I don't have audio. Oh.
It's creepy in there.
You're creepy.
No, it's creepy.
See more bullet holes. That's nice. Nice to know they're still this far up. Make our exit. You know, just because this station was shut down in '64, the Cold War and the threat of mutual destruction, or at least maybe the promise of mutual destruction, kept going well into the '80s. It's just the technology changed. Matter of fact, this station was when the threat that you would most likely encounter would be bombers coming over here. Just a fleet of bombers full of nuclear bombs dropped in a conventional manner. But soon, we figured out, and so did the Russians, that you could put those missiles in smaller form, and then you could fly them on top of a missile. And then things really got wacky. Firewood and water time. Not wood. What's up?
Weird.
Like, just...
I don't know, it just sounded like somebody walking down the steps over there.
I hope it was water.
Me too.
Let's go with water.
This stuff dry now that I left it out here? Yep. I knew it.
Nice.
It's real dry. It's ready to go. And then whatever we throw in the barrel after that, that's still trying to dry.
You should try this road over here. We haven't gone down it yet. It's the one road we don't know where it goes. And what could possibly go wrong? There's probably firewood.
Let's check it out.
Oil drum. Now every building had its own little oil canister, oil drum that would supply heat and energy to each building. That was their preferred poison, I believe. Just, I'm assuming heating oil, but I could be wrong. But and when they left, like I said earlier, allegedly, although not officially disclosed, they may not have been so careful with the disposal of all the chemicals around here, and that's why there's some potential contamination, along with the lovely asbestos that Mike pointed out. So I don't know what kind of building you think this was, Mike. I don't know. It's just an empty room now. Same with this. What's the door say? Nothing really. Mike, I'm going in here. $120 amps. Yep. What's up? What's up? Oh, nice. Score the wood.
Dude, we need to bring back the saw.
You missed out on a lot of good asbestos, but thanks for finding this wood. Yeah, we'll come back here with the saw. Then we'll be in good shape, huh? Score. Just a little bit down the road from that building. We got a trickle of water and a little puddle near it.
Yeah.
The old knapsack. And there's our 1 gallon container. Back at camp here, and we got the water. Now, if we weren't as worried about the water, like I was saying earlier, just a regular backpacking environment where we're just trying to take out something common like Giardia or Giardia, however you say it, We could just hook this right up to this guy, sit it on the table. I have a tube, it'll run gravity style, but we're gonna be a little more cautious and go with the Sawyer Select S3, which is about as hardcore as you can get for, at least for a backpacker who's just throwing something in their pack. I know someone's gonna chime in that you can filter harder than this, but we're gonna just take it, fill it up to the fill line, and then we're gonna squeeze it back and forth in that foam and squeeze it out. And that's about it. So now that it's full, I'm just gonna squeeze the Sawyer Micro back on there, kind of wring it out. It's kind of a weird material, but it does allow you to kind of roll it as you go, if that's your preference. I find that makes it a little easier than just sitting there squeezing it, and you just let it kind of drain out. In my experience, once you use it a couple times and that foam gets kind of nice and wet, you're gonna get like 24 ounces, 3 cups out of a squeeze.
How many times can you use the sponge?
So on the S3, the stronger grade you get, the less uses you're gonna get out of it. So that is the trade-off. The S1 is like 1,600 uses and the S3 is like 400. Huh. So, and then the Sawyer Micro on the end is the standard, like, I don't know, 1,000,000 gallons.
So if you were in a really unsafe, like country backpacking or something like that, you know,
yes,
Chernobyl or something, like
here,
you want this one here.
Yeah. But most of the time I would not carry this. Normally I would not need something like this, but it was perfect timing for a place like this. But other times I would just leave this at home and bring this, just bring the micro attachment by itself, and I'd be good to go. And those last allegedly like 1,000,000 gallons or something crazy. It's basically until you lose it. We doing the Spam mac and cheese now? Yeah. Nice. This is a favorite. If you've never watched any of our videos, this will be new to you. If you have, this will be real old to you. But Velveeta shells and cheese, not exactly the lightest thing in the world compared to dehydrated backpacking food. But for trips like this, it's super simple. Add the cheese sauce to your pasta. Add some Spam that Mike already pre-cooked at home and vacuum sealed.
And you just warm it up.
Good. Nice organization. Yes. How you liking the new hearth chimney system?
I think it's gonna be great.
Well, now that basically all set up, got a couple gallons of water, got a bunch of firewood, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to explore a little bit. It's going on 5 o'clock. Just enjoy ourselves. Kind of know our way around at this point, which is cool. And have a little campfire and some dinner tonight and hang out. There's some cloud cover. It might rain around 4 a.m. so we might not get stars quite like we did yesterday. But hey, that's how it goes. I'm glad we had yesterday. But we'll see. You never know. The moon's still out. That's looking cool. That's completely disintegrated over there. A little sunset view. Just be careful up here after it gets dark, Mike. I never did tell you about how the second death occurred, did I? I don't know which tower, but somebody fell from one of these towers, I think around 20-ish years ago.
Fell from the tower?
Fell from somewhere, exploring. Yeah, I don't know the details, but they did fall and die.
That explains the weird noises and stuff.
Double haunted.
Yeah.
Alright. Short walk back to camp, that's for sure. Here we are. the final morning, the day of disembarkment is upon us now, and it is a foggy one. Mike and I are just getting broken down. But how'd you sleep last night? Decent?
Much better.
Much better? Me too. Mostly because of the wind block that we made. That was key. We even got a little bit of rain last night, but it just seemed like some sprinkles. Yeah. But the wind was not a problem. The night before, like I said, I felt like I was in a boat. I was getting knocked everywhere. In fact, some of you might be asking, how did the mummy pod experience go? And honestly, it was not bad. Now, a lot of people, like I said earlier, voiced a concern about laying at an angle. I didn't find that to be an issue, at least not for me at 5'11". Because of the mummy shape, it's already in a wedge. I was able, now maybe you like to sleep in an extreme angle, but I was able to get an angle in there because of the wedge shape. Honestly, what held me back from getting the angle I wanted, I don't think was the bag, and this is the reason I'm going to do a separate review on this, because we can talk about all that later after I've tested some other stuff. But what I found was, what was holding me back from getting the angle I wanted was actually the length of the hammock. This hammock is like a 9.5 foot. I know it's 9 foot something. And the longer your hammock, the more of a wider angle you can get, and therefore a flatter lay. So I was finding myself a little constricted, just it felt a little narrow because I wasn't able to get quite the angle I'm used to. My favorite is a 10.5 foot hammock. In the 9s, it gets a little tight for me. So what I want to do is, in the future, I want to test this Outdoor Vitals Mummy Pod out with 10.5 foot Dutch half-wet hammock and see how it works with that. But it really was pretty cool. I didn't bring a sock, which is a protector that goes around your hammock to keep out drafts in cold weather. Didn't even think about it. When I got here, I had that wind experience that I had on the first night, and luckily, because this thing is all nice and sealed up all the way around you, I was actually directly getting hit by wind, and I was fine. Now again, this is a 15-degree bag, and we were only down to probably in the upper mid-20s, but that's still good. I had no draft points of entry, and I stayed warm the whole night, even though I was rocking all over the place. So it warrants some more discussion for those of you wondering. The Outdoor Vitals Mummy Pod so far is working out. It just needs a little more experimentation. So right now, I think we're going to break down camp. We're not terribly far away from one of our favorite restaurants in the world, which would be, what's that place called, Mike? Delaney's Hole in the Wall in North Conway. So we're going to head there from this spooky place on over to a nice, warm, cozy joint for perhaps a nice burger. I always like to put that at the end of a hike. This one didn't have a lot of miles, but you know, psychologically, I think I'm just worn out from all the spookiness, Mike. I'm going to need a burger, definitely. Nice little fire there that Mike got started, of course. King of the fire, Trail Killer, which, by the way, if you want a different perspective on this trip or some behind-the-scenes stuff, check his video out. That's on Trail Killer channel, right?
Yeah.
Alright, it'll be over there. Plus he has family for real. It's for vlogging and whatnot, so check those out. But right now it's starting to rain, so we're probably going to pack up and get going, enjoy the warmth of this fire one more time, and just kind of